On January 28, 2025, all of Japan was focused on an intersection in Saitama. On that day, the road surface suddenly collapsed, and a truck fell into the hole. A 74-year-old man was unfortunately trapped alone in the driver's cabin. Nearly 3 months have passed since the accident, and the man has yet to be rescued. The Japanese government is still devising plans. What happened at the scene that caused the rescue operation to drag on for so long? Did the old man really survive? The story begins on that morning at 9 a.m. In the city of Yashio, Saitama, the intersection suddenly collapsed, creating a deep hole with a diameter of 10 meters and a depth of 5 meters. A white truck accidentally drove into the large pit. Initially, the rescue efforts were relatively smooth. Firefighters and police arrived quickly, and citizens cooperated by maintaining order. Nearby, firefighters contacted the man, who was conscious but unable to escape because the doors were jammed. At first, everything seemed manageable. Rescuers just needed to approach from the rear of the truck to rescue him. However, when 2 firefighters entered the pit, the road surface collapsed again. The firefighters had to evacuate urgently, were injured, and did not return to the scene. The next plan was to lift the truck using a crane and then rescue the man. By the time the crane and truck were connected, it was already 10 p.m. 13 hours after the incident. The crane started, but the steel wires attached to the truck suddenly snapped. The hole on the road became larger, forcing the rescue to be halted again. After another 5 hours, the truck's cargo bed was lifted, but only the cargo bed came up. The front part of the truck, where the man was trapped, remained at the bottom of the pit. The rescue team also discovered a more challenging problem. The bottom of the 10-meter deep hole was the top of Saitama's sewer pipe, a major artery connecting 12 nearby cities' sewage treatment plants. The pipe was old and had begun to rupture. According to local officials, the aging pipe's rupture caused hydrogen sulfide gas to leak, which turned into sulfuric acid when it came into contact with air, further corroding the pipe and creating larger cracks. Mud and sand flowed into the pipe, forming voids above it. This likely contributed to the road collapse. The man faced not only being trapped, but also the dangers of toxic gas and oxygen deprivation. The rescue team quickly installed pipes to pump air into the hole, but this was only a temporary measure, as the toxic gas would persist. The Japanese government then sent messages to about 1.2 million people in the surrounding 12 cities, asking them not to use the sewage system. This was akin to telling 1.2 million people not to use toilets. They also planned to evacuate residents within a 200-meter radius of the pit due to the risk of natural gas leaks. By this time, more than 10 hours had passed, and contact with the man had been lost. Experts on TV said the situation was challenging because the driver's cabin was smaller than the sewer pipe's diameter, making it likely that the man had fallen into the sewer. Rescuers could only ensure the safety of the pit and dig deeper. They dug for 6 days, and the man had been trapped for over 100 hours. Rain in Yashio caused the pit to fill with rainwater and sewage, forcing the rescue operation to be halted again. The golden time for rescue in earthquakes is 72 hours, and many feared the man's chances were slim. On February 3rd, work resumed at the site, with visible sewage flowing at the bottom of the pit. By February 5th, the water level had decreased, indicating that the strategy of stopping sewage use had worked. The rescue team deployed underwater drones to explore the area and found a suspected driver's seat about 100 to 200 meters downstream from the pit, but there was no sign of the man. Rescue personnel speculated that the driver's seat might have been deformed during the fall, and the man could have been swept away by the water, but no one knew where he was. On February 10th, the water level decreased further, and the Japanese government drilled 2 holes 20 meters apart on the ground to insert small cameras and observe the sewer pipe. They finally confirmed the location of the driver's cabin, about 30 meters from the bottom of the pit. Despite this, the Japanese government decided to hold a meeting. The meeting was held on the evening of February 11th, nearly 12 days after the man fell. After the meeting, they finally came up with a plan. They would bypass the old sewer pipe by building a new one around the location of the driver's cabin. This would prevent sewage from interfering with the rescue and allow the 1.2 million residents to resume normal life. They announced plans to dig a gentle slope from the ground to the location of the driver's cabin. This would facilitate the entry and exit of rescue personnel and fresh air. However, when asked how long it would take to build the slope, officials replied that it would take 3 months. 3 months, and the hope is that by the time the slope is built, we might still see the man emerge from the car smiling. Finally, looking at the deep hole, it has transformed from its original state into a bustling construction site. As of now, the rescue efforts continue, and we wait with bated breath.